Hey guys, how are you doing? Now, the Galaxy Note 8 was crowned the best smartphone by the tech community in 2017. A great piece of technology that gave you lots of bang for your buck. 1 year on and it still feels great with relevant design cues that conforms to 2018. This is my personal Galaxy Note 8 and welcome to the Samsung Galaxy Note 8 review after a year. The first time I picked up my Note 8, I was impressed by its superior glass-on-glass design construction with aluminium rails in between them. It felt sturdy and reassuring in the hand, with a weight that one would only associate with quality, especially in this midnight black model. It's sexy as hell. Corning Gorilla Glass 5 was the choice for the Note 8, and it has withstood the test of time. But this was also in due fact that I've always had a screen protector installed on this phone since day one. The buttons on my Note 8 still clicks with a solid feedback, from the power button to the volume buttons to even the Bixby button. I just wish Samsung would allow us to remap this button. They still don't, sadly. It's also great that Samsung still believes in the headphone jack. Even right up till the Note 9 and the new A7 and the new A9, they still believe in the headphone jack. It still ships with the headphone jack. Having this legacy port saves me hundreds of ringgit, as I don't have to go out and purchase any Bluetooth headphones and I can just comfortably use my existing pair of headphones. Samsung fitted their latest and greatest flexible OLED display in the Note 8 last year and it still shines to date. With an impressive 1200 nits brightness, 100% P3 color gamut, HDR10 compliant and a native resolution of 1440p, content and text look great on the Note 8 even though you hold it up right to your nose or in direct sunlight. Streaming Netflix and YouTube on this thing is always going to be a pleasure. The Note 8 still produces deep blacks with outstanding contrast ratio and deep color that rivals the flagships of 2018. HDR content looks amazing, of course, and for contents that are SDR, Samsung included an option called Video Enhancer deep down in the system preference that makes SDR content have a HDR content-like experience. The display's large real estate also helps in multitasking and productivity, as you're able to view more due to the 18.5:9 tall aspect ratio. This is definitely true for split multitasking, especially while you're driving, where you're able to navigate and stream your favorite tunes at the same time. But it's not without any disadvantages though. Although the display is great for content consumption and productivity, the tall aspect ratio of the display sometimes makes it a chore for one-handed use. At times I find reaching the very ends of the screen difficult and it requires some degree of hand acrobatics. Fortunately, Samsung does include a feature which is known as a one-handed mode whereby you're able to swipe up diagonally from either part of the screen or tap 3 times on the home button to bring the user interface down to a more manageable size. After a year of use, my Note 8 is still able to keep up with the latest games and tasks thrown at it. It still switches between apps lightning quick and it handles CPU intensive tasks like a champ. I have the Snapdragon variant of the Note 8 and it has 4 high-performance cores clocked at 2.36 GHz and a further 4 efficiency cores clocked at 1.9 GHz with 6 gigs of RAM to complement it. That being said, it does stutter from time to time. The minor jitters and lag does get on your nerves. Samsung Skin OS Android still causes lag, though it's not as prominent as the previous iterations of their flagships. From Facebook to Instagram to YouTube, apps launch with a slight delay after a year. Once they're up and running, the apps switch between each of them like butter. Launching the camera is still fast, and the promise of zero shutter lag is still honored till today. I personally run my phone with the CPU restricted at 75% peak performance due to the limited battery stamina, which I'll get to in a while. I've been running my Note 8 on medium power saving since day one. And even in this mode, I'm able to say the Note 8 performs admirably for day-to-day tasks. I've only received one major update of Android this past 1 year. My Note 8 shipped to Android 7.1.1 Nougat and after a year, it's now running Android 8.0 Oreo. It doesn't even run the latest updated version 8.1. This is the major downside of owning any Samsung smartphone. They're always ready to sell you the latest and greatest hardware, but they fail miserably on the software side of things. Say what you want about Apple, but they take the effort in making sure the customer gets the best experience possible no matter the hardware. The recent iOS update 12 still applies to the iPhone 5s, which is a 5-year-old phone. Images out of this thing are nothing short of fantastic even till today. It is still able to hold its ground with the newer boys from Samsung and Apple or even the Google Pixel lineup. JPEG shot on the default camera app with the auto mode come out pleasant to the eyes. The Note 8 still produces sharp, contrasty images with colors that would punch back at you if they had arms. The deep, saturated color look that the general audience prefers for those Instagram bangers. Enthusiasts may differ on their opinion. I personally have no qualms against the photos that come out of the Note 8. For a quick snap and go, the images are plenty fine to me. For more serious and delicate work, I almost always switch to the Pro mode and shoot in RAW. Here are some of the sample images shot on my Note 8 with the Pro mode and later on edited with Lightroom Mobile CC. Low-light photography is where this camera shines as compared to many other smartphones out there. With a huge 1.7 aperture on the main sensor, the Note 8 is able to shoot fantastic clean images in low light with respectable detail and low noise after processing. The Note 8 is also able to shoot in 4K up to 30 frames per second, 1080p up to 60 and 720p up to 240 frames per second. The video quality is fine with great detail in brightly lit environments. Stabilization on the Note 8 is fantastic as both the sensors have optical image stabilization. Dynamic range in the video mode is good, but it does suffer in extremely dynamically lit situations. Shooting at high frame rates provides noisy footage and should be restricted to good lighting only. The front-facing camera does a good job exposing the subject. In brightly lit environment, the camera chooses to expose the subject more than the background, so it tends to blur out the highlights in order to maintain the subject. I do not care much for this as I rarely use the front-facing camera, except for the occasional groupies with friends. Also, I recently discovered that the cameras on the Note 8 are programmed to switch based on light available. It doesn't always switch between the cameras at the back when zoomed. Low light zooming causes the main sensor to digitally zoom in versus switching cameras. You can try this out yourself. I recently made a video about this and it was clarified by a couple of my viewers. Last year, Samsung updated the S Pen with 4000 levels of pressure for more accurate tracking across the screen. This year, they gave you Bluetooth with the Note 9. Personally, I never used the S Pen much. The occasional artist work in the Pen Up app, scribbling in screen write mode, editing photos for finer control, and signing off documents for my house renovation, which I'm doing currently, is about all I use the S Pen for. I do not even use it as a stylus for day-to-day tasks. It's a great tool when needed, but it's not a necessity for many. It's also great that the pen is equally IP68 water and dust resistant, so I do not have to worry for the occasional baths that I take the phone to keep it clean. Finally, let's address the elephant in the room. That minute battery. After the Note 7 debacle, Samsung decided to play it safe with the Note 8 and any other phones that came after. With the Note 8, they played it super safe. The downside of it, the Note 8 shipped with a 3300 mAh battery that provided a meager battery stamina. I've had to use the medium power saving mode since day one I bought this phone, as I needed it to last a whole day of use. Even with the power saving mode turned on, I averaged about 4.5 to 5 hours of screen on time with careful use. If playing games or navigation was involved, the battery plummets. I frequently drive to work with Spotify streaming over Bluetooth over my car stereo for about an hour. That drains approximately 6 to 8% battery with the screen turned off. Even after a year, I am still proud to own and display my Note 8. People are still amazed by the photos that come out of this phone and plain simply how it looks. It's a great device that stands the test of time. I would still hang on to my Galaxy Note 8 until it completely breaks down, or the new rumored Galaxy 10 has something substantial to offer over this phone. Battery life has and always been an issue for me, but I guess I can always find ways around it. Quick charging is always available for those quick top-ups, and there's quick charge in the box, Apple. And in case you're wondering, it costs about 243 ringgit to replace this battery of the Note 8 in Malaysia. And they assure me that they will reseal this phone back to its original IP68 rating. Anyway, these are my thoughts on the Galaxy Note 8 after a year of use. I hope you enjoyed this review. If you did, please do give me a thumbs up and subscribe for more future content. Let me know of your thoughts on the Note 8, especially if you own one, right down in the comment section below. And until I see you in the next one, do take care of yourself. Bye-bye.